before we get into all that, y'all already know we got to do our daily stories and some good ones here. So let's start right here. Here we go. We finally know the starting quarterback of the Rams. We couldn't really tell by the line, and now we finally get the official word here. John Wolford has been ruled out. He is not going to be playing, so they're going to be rocking with Jared Goff, which we thought would happen. I mean, Jared Goff played last week, so, I mean, you kind of have to rock with him, even though he's probably not 100% still. With Wolford getting kind of... That man got rocked like early on in the game. I mean, he's even if he played, he would be very timid, I would assume, and he hasn't played last week. And then you're going from, you know, win, like do or die in the playoffs, and then you're switching your quarterbacks. You just kind of have to live with Jared Goff and live and die by him in this game. And so the Rams are making the right decision, in my opinion. They're starting Jared Goff. We'll look at the line. We'll update it to see if, you know, it's changed any. You know, with Jared Goff, you know, starting, maybe it goes from -6.5 maybe to -5, or maybe it'll go all the way -7. I don't see it dropping because Jared Goff, I think, is better than John Wolford, and I think everybody kind of agrees with that. So I don't see the line really dropping. It may go up maybe a point, half a point. So we'll refresh it and double check before we make our official pick. But we got Jared Goff this week. Injured thumb in the cold. Oh boy. Alrighty, Ravens cornerback Marcus Peters. He's questionable to play against the Bills, and the Ravens desperately need him to play because they need a lockdown corner to step up and lock down and press up on Stefon Diggs, because he's really the main reason why the Bills offense has success, because you have to respect the deep ball, you have to respect the speed, you have to respect his like a spectacular catching ability. Do we have to go back to that playoff game against the Saints 3 years ago, like last second play, and he catches it over the diving, you know, defender, stays on his feet and takes it 40 yards for the huge upset against the Saints? I mean, Stefon Diggs, he's got the hands. So corners, they kind of, you know, usually don't press him, they back off, they let him get that 5 yards for the easy slant routes, and that's what Josh Allen's really been doing. Just a lot of slants, a lot of everything's been so wide open. It's crazy. Like it kind of it infuriates me actually to watch the Bills play and seeing all these receivers so wide open. Now, I give the receivers credit, and I give, you know, Josh Allen credit for delivering the ball, and I give the offensive coordinator great credit for scheming open players, but it's still frustrating at the end of the day because I have a defense, and the defense's job is to stop the offense, and they haven't been doing that all season. A la, you know, the Bills are 14-2 and you know, are putting up 40 points a game. You can't stop them. So Ravens, I'm assuming he's going to play. This is the playoffs. This is to get into the AFC Championship. I doubt Marcus Peters is going to let anything hold him back, but this is something that we are going to have to keep our eye on. And, you know, if he's not playing, he's one of their two great shutdown corners. They need them both because you got Cole Beasley, you got Stefon Diggs, you got Kenny Stills, you got other weapons. So Marcus Peters, they definitely need him because Stefon Diggs will go absolutely crazy if he's not there. Alrighty, Jalen Ramsey has not allowed over 50 yards receiving in a game since week 1. So basically the entire season. I'll forgive week 1. I don't care what you did week 1 because you had no preseason, no training camp, nothing like that. So yeah, we can forgive the week 1 game where Jalen Ramsey allowed more than 50 yards receiving. But this is a huge stat, especially for Aaron Rodgers because they're facing the Green Bay Packers. Jalen Ramsey's been locking up everybody. So who's the number 1 wide receiver on the Packers who's going to get locked up this week? Davante Adams. And who does Aaron Rodgers love to go to? Davante Adams. And how do the Packers lose games? Getting frustrated, going 3 and out multiple times, and then the offense is out of whack after that. So this could be a little bit of a closer game than everybody's really imagining. It's really going to come down to how well the Packers have used their off week last week since, you know, they secured the number 1 seed in the NFC. So how well did they look at this Rams defense? What do they do and scheme your guys open? You know, we've been seeing the Bills do it all season, scheming their players open. The Packers are going to have to do it here because if they're just going in thinking Davante Adams is going to win the one-on-one matchup against Jalen Ramsey, they may be in for a long day. So this is a really, really huge, interesting stat. You got a great corner going up against a great wide receiver. Who's going to prevail? Well, usually in the playoffs, it's defense wins. So we'll see about that. Alrighty. I don't like this, but here we go. Odell Beckham, he's out for the season for the Browns, and he's on Twitter putting more pressure on his team and giving more fuel to the opposing team. I mean, if literally everybody on the Browns kept their mouth shut this week, I love the Browns to possibly play spoiler, but now a lot of people are speaking out, and it's not going to go too well. They have all the momentum. They didn't need any extra momentum or give any extra momentum to the opposing team, but we get this quote by OBJ from last night. Quote, "Don't be surprised this weekend when they win," as in the Browns. "Just throwing it out there now. Come on, Odell, you didn't need to do this." And he's not even going to play, so his words really kind of mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. I mean, the Browns have been without him for a couple of weeks now, and they've been winning games and doing good. They don't need all these extra distractions. Do we need to remind you what happened to the Steelers? They've been talking garbage all season long, especially when they've been losing the last 5 weeks, and they just got absolutely destroyed. I mean, OBJ, come on. We don't need all this extra pressure on the Browns. They already have enough pressure already as it is, going against the 1 seed in the AFC, the defending champions. I mean, I'll call it right now, the future GOAT of the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, and you're going to have Andy Reid, who's going to be the next Bill Belichick. So I don't like this quote. And then also Patrick Mahomes went on Twitter and liked the tweet, so Patrick Mahomes has seen it. I'm sure everybody has. It's on SportsCenter, so I'm assuming everybody's seen it by now, but it's just extra fuel that's unnecessary. And, I respect everybody's right to talk garbage, talk trash. I do it too, but know the circumstances, high caliber game. On the road, playoff game against defending champions, number 1 seed, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill. I mean, it's just too much to give that team extra motivation. I really hope it doesn't bite the Browns in the butt, because I would love to see them upset the Chiefs. I would love to see them have success. If they won a ring, the league may explode. I don't know. They'll probably have to cancel next season, because they're like, what the hell? Just the Browns who haven't had a winning season in like 20 seasons is the new NFL champion. So I would love to see all that happen, but this quote, I'm not a big fan of it. Alrighty, and then, talking about, talking trash and not liking it. I mean, Chase Claypool is still out there talking, folks. How crazy. The wide receiver for the Steelers, who hasn't really been doing anything great these last couple of weeks. He is a part of the reason why the Steelers have not had success down the stretch here at the end of the season. I think we can all agree on that. We can put blame on Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool, Mike Tomlin, Big Ben, Marquise Pouncey, and James Conner. I think we can place blame on all those core pieces for dropping passes, sitting people out, not playing well. I mean, I think all those people share an equal slice of the blame for their kind of, floundering at the back half of the season. And now we get this quote by Chase Claypool. Here we go, quote, I'll read it. Quote, "If the Browns had won with more class, then I wouldn't have been so salty about it." Won with more class, they literally just blew you out on the road in a you just faced them in week 17 and you still couldn't beat them the next week. So won with more class, I mean, they were just destroying you. What class are you talking about? If I'm destroying a team like that who's been, going on TikTok before every game and dancing on my logo, and everybody's been talking trash when they've been losing the last 4 out of their 5 games. Yeah, I would be, and then I'm dogging you. I'm putting up 28 points in the first quarter. I'd be talking hella shit. And Chase Claypool would be doing the exact same thing if this game was the other way around and the Steelers got on top of the Browns instantly, 28-0 in the first quarter. You don't think Chase Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster would be talking shit on the sideline? Come on, man. So if the Browns had won with more class, then I wouldn't have been so salty about it. But them mocking Juju just didn't sit right with me. So you're upset with them mocking Juju Smith-Schuster because he was on TikTok before NFL games? We're talking like an hour before the game, an hour before the show here. I'm doing my research. I'm not dancing on TikTok, although I may, because, I could definitely get the subs and followers up, so I may be doing that. But come on, let's take our jobs a little bit more seriously. I understand that you want to have fun while you're doing and playing football, and I understand that. I'm all about that. I'm pro player, pro fun player, all about that. But, at the same time, what are we doing here? Why are you making this quote, and why are you making such a big deal out of it? I don't like this man, unfortunately. Just didn't sit right with me. They can enjoy the win and another week of football, but they'll be on the couch right next to me next week. I mean, they may, but they also may not, because the Steelers, if you weren't aware, were 6-point favorites by Vegas. So, yeah, the Browns are now 10-point underdogs. They were just 6-point underdogs last week. They won the game. They can do it again this week because they're talented, the roster's talented, and they're unified, and they don't have this garbage before the game. That's why they win, Chase Claypool, and that's why you are not playing this week. So we still got people talking. I don't like that. If you got beat and you're still talking, I understand that you feel like you have to keep talking to defend yourself, and I get that. I've been there. But I would just say, you know, closing it up a little bit would probably be a little bit better. But, you know, do what you do. I don't care, truly. But, you know, we got to talk about it since it's out there, right? Alrighty, big news, and it kind of caught me by surprise a little bit. All right, New York Jets have found their new head coach, and it's defensive coordinator Robert Saleh of the 49ers. Now, is this a good hire? He's a great defensive coordinator. I'll say that. I love watching this man coach and watching this man play. He's explosive on the sideline, and I'm definitely about that. Get your players hype. You have to build some sort of hype and momentum during games to keep, you know, you guys doing good, or if you're down, get them out of a slump. So I love what this man is doing on the defensive end of the ball. But I don't know if it's going to translate to a head coaching job. I really don't like defensive-minded head coaches, defensive coordinators getting head coaching jobs. I don't think it translates too well. I think defense and offense are really, really different styles of coaching and generating like hype and momentum. I think it's two different things, and I don't really think defense really translates well to head coach. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. I mean, Billy B, folks. I mean, we know him, 20 years in the league, dominant, winning multiple rings. So yes, there's obviously exceptions to the rule. The Dolphins even have a defensive-minded head coach, and I'm actually very worried about next season, because the one thing about defense is it really doesn't translate from year to year. You can have a great defensive season one year and then, you know, being like top 3 in every category, but then you get figured out, they just run cover 2, but the safety goes this way instead of this way. Oh, that's what they've been doing. You know, it gets figured out a little bit easy. You know, that's why defensive coordinators don't really have too much success as, you know, head coaches. Matt Patricia, did he work out in Detroit? Todd Bowles, did he work out in New York? He's a solid defensive coordinator, but he doesn't really translate to the NFL, to a head coaching job. And same thing with Brian Flores. Yes, he's had one good season, but that's what defensive coordinators who turn head coaches have. One good season. That's really it. So I like the guy. I like him as a defensive coordinator. A head coaching job in dysfunctional New York. I mean, we just saw it with Todd Bowles. It didn't work. I'm fearing it's going to be the same. Now, Todd Bowles is not as explosive or as outspoken on the sideline than Robert Saleh is. I mean, I'm sure y'all know him. If you probably don't know the name, but if you saw the face and saw him on the sideline, oh yeah, that's him. He's like a maniac on the sideline, which I love, but not a big fan of it. Love him as a defensive coordinator, especially in this Jets organization. That's like the worst head coaching spot you could get. And I understand, you know, he wants to make a name for himself and all that. So I want to see this man have success, absolutely. But I'm not big on the decision. Not big on the decision. And can we all just kind of take a deep breath in? It's like every time a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator has like one good season, they're instantly out. Can we like build something? Can y'all win a ring first? He got to the Super Bowl, Robert Saleh, and what did he do? He kind of blew a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. I mean, he was the defensive coordinator. The 49ers were up 10 points going into the fourth quarter. They lose the game. They give up more than 10 points in the fourth quarter. So, is that who we want on our team as our head coach? I don't know. But yeah, just back to the point of just building something. Take like Eric Bieniemy of the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. I understand you want to be the guy, and I don't know how it would feel in that situation. I may feel differently if I was put in this situation, but you know, can you just like, you know, have a solid, you know, 5-7 year dynasty? Why does everything have to be, all right, I had a good season, now what's the next thing? Like, build something in Kansas City, you know what I mean? But everybody wants to be out every year, one season. Everybody wants to be a head coach. But as we see, you know, head coaching is not easy, folks. That's why we have, you know, 5 to 7 vacancies every single season, because it's hard. It's not easy. So Robert Saleh, congratulations on getting the job, absolutely. But we'll see how it works next season. And then this is funny. Richard Sherman, cornerback on the 49ers under Robert Saleh. He says the New York Jets got a great one. Congrats to them. Now, why is Richard Sherman saying this? Because he doesn't want to be in San Francisco next season, and he wants to probably get out. He knows he's probably not going to stay there. He's already come out and said he doesn't kind of want to be there already. So now he's got an in with a head coach on a new team in a new division. I mean, Richard Sherman, I can guarantee you will be a Jet next season just because of this tweet right here. So yeah, watch out for Richard Sherman. Congratulations to the Jets. That's a pretty good pickup. Yes, he's declining a little bit, but it's still a veteran. It's still a decent corner, and he can teach some young bucks. I mean, that's what the Jets are. They're a young team, and Richard Sherman going there could be absolutely fantastic. So watch out for the news here in the offseason of Richard Sherman going to the Jets. It's gonna happen. I can guarantee it. Alrighty, here we go. Continuing on. Colts general manager Chris Ballard not ready to decide the future with Philip Rivers yet. Really? Quote, do I think Philip Rivers can still play? Absolutely. I don't think he can. I mean, the run game was really the only reason why the Colts were having success this season. I mean, we called this team an 8-8 team. If you go back and all the wins, how they won, the 2 fumbles literally on the 1-yard line against the Texans. I mean, take off 2 wins of that. You could have taken off another win. I'm blanking on it. But, I mean, this is not an 11-5 team. Philip Rivers hasn't really done anything fantastic. He hasn't been scoring in the fourth quarter. He hasn't been clutch in the fourth quarter. The run really helped them out. He's been floundering the last 3 weeks, folks. It's really the run game that has helped and elevated this team. So I can almost guarantee Philip Rivers is out in Indy. Indy's only a quarterback away from being absolute dominant contenders here in the AFC. Now, unfortunately for the Colts, they have to compete with the Chiefs and the Ravens and the Bills and the Browns, and they're all they have a lot more talent than the Colts do. But the Colts have a good squad here. They really just need a good quarterback whose arm, it doesn't look like a noodle come fourth quarter at the end of the season. So I think it's unfortunate for Philip Rivers, Big Ben. I think they both need to go, both need to retire. It's just enough. You haven't, especially Philip Rivers, he's done nothing with his career. And the fact that you would think he would be able to win a ring in his 17th season when he couldn't win one, his 8th, 9th, 10th season when he was younger and better in the league. So I think keeping Philip Rivers next year is a big mistake unless there's not a good quarterback where the Colts feel comfortable drafting a quarterback, and maybe they wait till next season. They like the draft class better next season, maybe at that point. So we'll see what happens with the Colts, but I would say they move off of Philip Rivers. Alrighty, here we go. Ex-Chargers coach Anthony Lynn has discussed Seahawks offensive coordinator vacancy with Pete Carroll. All right, Anthony Lynn to Seattle. Is that going to be good? Well, the offense wasn't bad when he was the Chargers head coach. It was just they could not win the games. They could not win the close games. So that's definitely a red flag. Now, is that on Anthony Lynn? Is that on somebody else? He wants to be, the offensive coordinator here with Russell Wilson. I really don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about Anthony Lynn. I truly don't. I mean, he comes here for, the head coaching job of the Chargers, and he's not winning the close games, and that's a red flag. But the offense has been pretty decent. I mean, did you see what Justin Herbert did this season? I'm sure that Anthony Lynn had at least a little bit of, input on what happened to make him work so well. But why did they lose those close games? That's what I want to know. I haven't been able to figure it out. And, I don't want that going over to Russell Wilson. I don't want to see Russell Wilson in close games not finishing. But, he made Justin Herbert work, so he may work with Russell Wilson. So this will be a decent hire, him going from head coaching to offensive coordinator. I think that's good for Anthony Lynn. This could be potentially very good, but if he's the reason why they were losing close games, then I don't want him anywhere near Russell Wilson. But we'll see what happens. Alrighty, and this is, oh my goodness, I think this could be fantastic, folks. The Atlanta Falcons have made an offer to Arthur Smith to become their next head coach. Now you're probably wondering, who is Arthur Smith? Well, he's the offensive coordinator for the Titans, and oh my goodness, did you see what he's done with the Titans these last 2 seasons? Absolutely magnificent. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, Arthur Smith has Ryan Tannehill playing at his ceiling, his max potential, and his max potential is AFC Championship game lose. I mean, that's what Ryan Tannehill can do, really, at his max potential. I watched him when he was with the Dolphins. He was good, and I liked him, but he's not going to win you the Super Bowl. He can maybe, with a lot of momentum and a lot of, maybe Cinderella story magic, he can get you to the Super Bowl, but he's not going to win you the game. The Titans needed that running game to really help out Ryan Tannehill even more, and that's fantastic by Arthur Smith. I mean, he knows what it had to take to have Ryan Tannehill perform well, and it was continually running the ball over and over again. Now, it was a little easy because he had Derrick Henry. I mean, it makes running the ball 25, 30 times a game a little bit easier. But even then, he was still scheming Ryan Tannehill plays to be open off the run. So, Arthur Smith, I think he's fantastic. It's not Arthur Smith's fault that they lost the AFC Championship game last season. They lost first round against the Ravens this season. He had Ryan Tannehill playing at his max potential. It's just Ryan Tannehill's max potential. It's not gonna get it done every playoff game. That's just not how it works. So, and can we talk about the talent in Atlanta? Arthur Smith with Matt Ryan. I mean, I would put Matt Ryan's ceiling a little bit above Ryan Tannehill's ceiling. Matt Ryan got to a Super Bowl, pretty good, like a quarter away, 5 minutes away from winning a Super Bowl. Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones. I mean, look at the receivers that the Titans are working with, A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. I mean, that's a step up. That's kind of a step up, even though that wide receiver core in Tennessee is fantastic. Now you're upgrading to Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, and you still got Todd Gurley in the backfield. Yes, he's absolutely no Derrick Henry, and he's got arthritis in the knees, but that's still a solid player back there. He can still get it done. So there's a ton of talent in Atlanta, and if Arthur Smith, he's been offered the job. He's been offered the job. The Atlanta Falcons have offered him a job. He hasn't said anything yet. He hasn't accepted, but I really think this could be a perfect fit for Arthur Smith. The talent there, you would have to get rid of no talent. Remember, we were kind of saying a couple weeks ago that, Atlanta, they were thinking about trading Julio Jones, and we thought that was the right choice. Trade Julio Jones, get rid of Matt Ryan, just really rock with Calvin Ridley. If Arthur Smith goes there, they don't have to get rid of anybody. He can make that team work. He can make that offense work. So I would say Arthur Smith, yes, definitely take that Atlanta Falcons job. I would love it. I think the Atlanta Falcons with Arthur Smith next season would be playoff contenders. They would be in the playoffs. Super Bowl contenders, I should say, because they would definitely make the playoffs if Arthur Smith was the head coach of the Falcons next season. I loved it. So Arthur Smith, please accept this job. I think him getting offered it came out earlier this morning, so I'm really hoping he does confirm it maybe by today, and we'll talk about it maybe a little bit more in depth tomorrow, but I think this is a great hire. Alrighty, and another great hire that we kind of called a little bit earlier, Jason Garrett is apparently a finalist for the Chargers' vacant head coaching position. This is what we've been saying. We want to see Jason Garrett with Justin Herbert. I think that will work fantastic. On Twitter, everybody's clowning Jason Garrett. I mean, you're seeing it right. Hey, you're seeing it right here in the comments. Somebody just replied to the GIF of him just clapping, and I get it. It is funny, and it is fun to make fun of, but look at the Cowboys this season, folks. Look at what Jason Garrett did with the Giants. I mean, come on. The Cowboys are not good, and I really think Jason Garrett was the glue that held that team, the personalities, the talent together, and now that Mike McCarthy's in charge, all hell broke loose. Nobody has really any accountability, and they're trash. They're absolutely not good. So I would love to see Jason Garrett get a new head coaching job, especially with the Chargers. I think that's the best fit for him. I think he would kind of get eaten alive a little bit if he went to Atlanta with Julio Jones' personality. Matt Ryan's already been there for a little bit. But, second year Justin Herbert, a Chargers team that is just dying to win. I mean, these last 2 seasons have been absolute hell for Chargers fans and Chargers players of just losing the close games over and over and over again. And I really think Jason Garrett, he can turn this team around. So look forward to this. I mean, we've got some great head coaches really to look forward. I mean, if Arthur Smith takes this Atlanta Falcons job, I mean, Atlanta's got a bright future. And if Jason Garrett takes this Chargers job, they've got a bright future future as well. So two not great teams from last season instantly, playoff contenders just by their head coaching hires. So hopefully Jason Garrett gets the job. I'm rooting for this man. I'm pulling for this man, and he's got my endorsement for the head coaching job of the Chargers. Chargers fans, if he goes to the Chargers and it doesn't work out, you can blame me. Does that make you feel a little bit better? Give the man a chance. Alrighty. A little bit of basketball right here. Kyrie Irving, he hasn't been to, he's been ghosting. They got James Harden still ghosting, but potential to hear from Kyrie Irving and to see him back. So Kyrie Irving has been fined $50,000 for violating the league's health and safety protocols, most likely being maskless at a party. And also, he will be forfeiting salary for any games he's missed due to his 5-day quarantine period. You know how much money he's making a game? $400,000. Holy cow. He's already missed 2 games, I believe. So that's $800,000 he's forfeiting, potentially more. He's coming back. He's possibly coming back tomorrow if everything's coming back negative. And, he's already down $800,000. I know he doesn't want to lose another $400,000. So hopefully we can see Kyrie back with the Nets. I want to see this team in action. I want to see how dominant they can be. We've been hearing talk throughout the offseason. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant's going to be great. They're going to take down LeBron James. They're going to win. They're going to easily be the #1 seed in the East, and they're going to cakewalk a championship. And now they get even better with James Harden. I would love to see that. I want to see greatness, and this would be potential greatness right here. We already had greatness with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson, and that ended a little bit premature with only 1 ring. They only win one ring. Possibly only 1 ring with Kevin Durant. So yes, I want to see this. I want to see all this work, and I know that we can clown we can clown James Harden, and we can clown Kyrie Irving. It's real easy to do that, but I want to see this work, and I want to see the maximum potential here. So Kyrie Irving possibly coming back tomorrow. That would be fantastic. A big 3 in Brooklyn, folks. I mean, possibly the best 3 ever assembled. Honestly, it could be kind of crazy. So we'll see what happens.